Welcome to Friends Like Us.
Yay!
I am here with my co-host Evelyn Frick.
Hello!
And I'm Marina Franklin.
Yes, you are.
I'm trying to get more fun. I think you are now. I have you on here. I think you can. They have this new thing where you can. Did it do it?
Yeah, I got the invitation. I actually wasn't able to look at it until this morning, and it said that the invitation had expired. So I need to get
Oh.
sent a new one. But yeah, I think like
Oh.
once I get that set up, I should be able to kick Juskow out of the conversation whenever I want to.
I know, isn't that great? We'll do that next time because I know I probably could do it sooner. I wonder if yeah, it would probably take too long because you have to like set it up, right, or
I think
something.
so, yeah, and I'd probably
Oh,
have to
okay.
like sign out and like come back in and stuff.
Well, how you been, Evelyn?
I'm good. Yeah, this last 2 weeks actually, because we weren't on last week. It's been good. I was catching up with a lot of friends the last 2 weeks. I got new headshots taken last
Ooh.
Saturday, which is exciting. They're not like done being like, like edited or whatever photographers do, but yeah, I'm excited about that. Yeah, and then I noticed that we're kind of surging again with COVID. So this weekend I've mostly just been inside. But yeah, it's been a good, relaxing, very summery 2 weeks. What about you?
Wow, the surge. That yes, when you talk about that, I was like, yeah. Oh, but it's really funny because being in Chicago, I was in
Hmm.
Chicago,
Oh wow.
in Illinois. And we'll get to that, but
Yeah.
you can see I've been eating my cheeks. Look at my cheeks.
Honestly didn't notice.
Look at that's because some of it's come down, but I was so bloated that my cheeks look like I was storing like nuts, like like chipmunks.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Oh yes, oh, we missed you all too. Sorry for the 2 weeks, but it's summer. Yeah.
Yeah. Gotta take some time
Um,
off.
it's yeah. So, but we're here. We're here for you. We're not going. We took some time off. But yeah, I was in Chicago and did not hear about anything. COVID. Everyone's like, no one cares, Evelyn,
Yeah.
anymore. And especially in other states, like in Chicago, it's like I was the only one. I was at the Chosen Few dance picnic,
Oh
the
wow.
big house music festival in Chicago, and when I say like I was the only one when it got crowded wearing a mask, I was it.
Ooh,
And
yeah.
one guy walked past me, he goes, "She's smart." And I was like, even the people I was with, it's like they don't it's part of like now it's like you kind of feel like I think because most people aren't wearing it, you
Yeah.
feel uncool. So you just take it off and a lot of people are jumping in the water because they feel like
Ooh, yeah, yeah.
it's they don't care anymore and they just want to get it.
Yeah, exactly. I was talking to a friend last night actually, and he was like, "Yeah, like it's kind of hard to care about being COVID safe when like no one else cares about it," which I do think is true. I mean, I'm still like wearing a mask, even though like I do feel like I look uncool.
Yeah,
But
you
yeah,
feel uncool. And then the other thing is like they keep saying the hospital rate is low and the death rate is low,
hmm,
which hopefully it stays that way. And I think that's why people are like treating it like it's a common cold. I
yeah,
have not treated it like that. I mean, there are definitely moments where I know I've taken some risks where I was
yeah,
like, oh my God. But like when I would go inside of these
mhm.
dance clubs, and I only went into one, but one, I don't know about you, but when I saw like how many people were inside, I like my
It's a lot.
reaction is like not the same like when I see crowds for so
Hmm.
many reasons, not just COVID.
Yeah,
Obviously, we know there's like a gun issue. So I'm always like nervous. I'm just looking around. So I just stay like I keep my mask on and I felt like people were looking at me like, "Oh, should I?" Like a lot of people were looking at me and I was like, "You're going to have to just look at me." And I've been the odd person out so many times. I welcome it.
yeah, yeah.
I'm fine with it, but when I was in spaces where there weren't a lot of people around me, I would take the mask off, but there was definitely a couple moments where someone was talking to me, even outside,
Yeah.
where if the music is loud and they're shouting in my face,
Yeah.
I,
Yeah.
I was like, if I don't get COVID on this trip, and so far I'm good.
Yeah.
I wait a couple of days, but if I don't get COVID from this trip that I just went on, I don't know what you know what I mean? It was like there
Yeah.
were so many situations where I was like, this is definitely not good.
No, yeah, I'm in the exact same boat. Like a few months ago now, like I went to Chicago to visit family, and then the week after, my girlfriend Sophie went to Minneapolis to visit family. And then like a few days after she got back, we went all like my family like went to Vermont for a trip, and I both Sophie and I were like, if we don't get COVID within the space of these next 2 weeks, like it almost is like an ego boost. It's like, am I like immune in some way? But I just feel like I don't know, this strain is really, I've heard like it's more transmissible outside.
Oh,
Um,
really?
that's what
Yeah.
I mean. I don't have any like sources to cite. That's just what I've anecdotally heard. But yeah, I'm not this, and also it seems like this one might be I don't know, just like a more aggressive. Like if you get sick, it like is worse. So yeah, I'm not. I really like. I don't want to. I don't want to get COVID. Period. But I really don't want to get this particular
How it's
strain.
so funny how people don't even want to watch the news. That's why a lot of people don't have the right information because people have stopped
Yeah.
watching the news because they don't want to hear about it anymore.
I think that's so true. And part of it too, I think like at least for like me and my girlfriend, it feels unhealthy to be getting like this like a like sheer amount of like really bad news like every day. Like that just can't be good for you mentally, emotionally. So I think like I do try to stay on top of the news. Obviously, like I work for a news organization, so I also have to for my job. But there are definitely like on the weekend when
And
I'm
for
not
the podcast,
working.
I have to. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So it's like on the weekend I try to like log off as much as I possibly can. But yeah, it's not easy.
It's not easy being green. Yeah, it's so not easy. I see some of the comments here. Yeah, what Stacey's saying, so hard not to cave to social pressure. I have to remember why I'm masking. Plus, I always feel uncool.
Yeah,
Last night, I said it in front of the audience and I got applause that I was wearing a mask for the first time ever. And I was like, oh, that's interesting. Something's shifting here.
that's really at
Um,
the Comedy Cellar.
yeah, last night they
That's really
applauded me.
interesting.
Yeah, because they hadn't been for a while. They were just looking at me like, "What's wrong with you?"
Yeah,
Um,
that's so interesting. I
I
mean,
wear
that's
it on
nice
the
to
plane.
hear.
Yeah, it sounds like Florida. Yeah, the surge is real. Went to Universal Florida and got COVID. Oh, I'm sorry, Mister Noise. I always feel like this is a different Mister.
Yeah.
Hey, every time you join, make sure you tell us where you're from and if you changed your screen name, Mister
Yeah.
Noise. Also, yeah, on the plane, it's optional. I wear it on the plane. They cough like crazy on the plane, like
Oh my
crazy.
god. Yeah.
Look at this. Denise is like, shit, I have mine on now at DCA, and people have ditched the mask at the airport. Yep, they have. I got the booster. You got the booster, right?
I
We've all
did. I
got.
haven't been able to get like the second booster because I'm not eligible for that yet, and hoping that I will be
Oh,
soon.
oh, hey, yeah. Hey, Catalina. Well, I hope you do. I thought it was eligibility for everyone for the second booster.
No, there's still only like you have to be like either 50 years or older or be like severely to moderately immunocompromised, which I am not. So um, yeah, I'm hoping. I mean, I think I've read that I think there will probably be more boosters in the fall that are like a vaccine that's specifically targeting like the Omicron strain. So I'll definitely get that. But yeah, I haven't been able to. But my parents, because they're 50 plus, have been able to get the second booster. So I'm, grateful for that.
That is good. And I
Mhm.
like your parents.
Oh, they like you.
What's it, Venus? I worked in a school and I'm amazed that I haven't had it. Not that I know of, at least. Yeah, it's weird. Like I haven't had it yet. I'm not sure why. I don't know. And this variant, they say the booster, it don't matter. This BA one, I call it BA
Yeah.
52. BA is like just cracking through it. So
Yeah.
be
Yeah.
careful, folks. All right, let's let this man who's been waiting to join us so patiently, which he's never a
Never.
patient person. Here we go, everybody. Welcome to the show, David Juskow, everybody.
Hi, everybody, and let me say a quick welcome and happy birthday to Catalina from Chile.
Oh, happy birthday.
Happy birthday, Catalina.
Happy birthday, Catalina.
Beer with her, so this is I guess this is as close as we'll get. Hi, Catalina. Happy birthday.
Oh, someone asked about monkeypox.
Oh,
Monkeypox
We were talking,
is for gay
Jessica and I were
people.
talking. Is it just
no?
Yeah,
It's
it's like AIDS.
always
get him, Evelyn, get him?
that's just always the inclination. Like it's so obvious. Like over the like, no matter how far we advance in medicine, like biases of doctors are just so baked into the medical establishment that like.
It's true.
And also, I mean, I think you're just seeing that like gay men are getting tested more frequently for monkeypox because there's such like the media so much, oh, it's mostly gay men who are getting it. But I mean, it can be anyone. It's not, there's nothing,
No,
specific
God
to,
hates the gays. It's very clear. That's
very clear.
AIDS, monkeypox. It's very obvious.
Yeah, but I truly thought that monkeypox would be something that I don't have to worry about. And I still think it's not super transmissible, but I don't like that a lot of more people are getting it.
Venus says monkeypox sounds like it should be fun. Like you're
Yeah.
driven to climb trees, eat a lot of fruit, throw your poop at a tourist. I love that.
Well, I didn't realize that COVID was going up. Hello, Stace. Nice to see you. I didn't know that. I'm going to Dublin tomorrow.
20%.
I'm going to Ireland tomorrow.
Oh, I thought that was a fake story you were telling me. You're really going to Ireland?
Yeah.
Why?
Well, I like drinking, and no, the Roastmaster General asked me to join him because he doesn't like to be alone. So I'm going as his date. He's filming a TV show there, so I'm going with him, and certainly never been, and I want to go, so I'm going. Now I just started a new job, which I'm actually at right now. I know I'm at home, but I'm doing my job right now, and they were so nice. I was like, I know I just got here. He's like, he texted me. He's like, you want to go to Dublin for a couple days? I'm like, dude, I haven't worked in 3 years. You're asking me now? And, but the people at work were really nice and they're letting me go.
Oh, wow. That is very nice.
Yeah. So I'm going, I hope they're not watching because, I'm supposed to be working, but there's nothing going on right now.
Do they follow you on social media? Because I tagged you on
I haven't told them to, but probably for good reason because of this. But, remember, I was worried I wouldn't be able to come on, but because I work until 4. But yeah, I'm very excited. I don't like traveling, and I think I went to Orlando once. That's the only place I've been since COVID, and I'm not sure how to handle it because I'm not like you, and I don't care about masks usually. But it does seem appropriate to wear a mask on a plane. But I can't deny I don't want to look like a dick.
It's difficult, but
no one cares.
No one cares. On American Airlines, they actually do an announcement about that specifically. They say, listen, if you don't wear a mask or if you choose to wear a mask, please respect your passengers who choose to wear a mask. They actually make that announcement twice.
What's the big deal if you wear a mask while you're sleeping? People, at least.
But I think it's good that they make it's this has been a telling time about how dumb people are and how many times you have to remind them of like just basic decency.
Yeah.
Like don't smoke inside, like secondhand
you have
smoke.
To tell people that?
You have to tell people
vape,
that
not to vape inside.
Secondhand smoke kills. You have to tell people that, which is so obvious, but you have to tell people that.
Yeah. Well, they don't care. People that smoke don't usually care about others.
It's the same thing with the mask, though. It's the same thing. It's like your breathing kills.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I'm debate. Broadway shows you no longer have to wear a mask,
That's going to be
and
debatable too soon because they
and
can
I'm debating whether I want to go to a show without a mask because it really is no fun, especially in a comedy, to wear a mask. I mean, if it's a drama, there's probably no reason not to wear one, but it would be kind of fun. I've seen now, 4 or 5 Broadway shows wearing a mask, and it is no fun. But yet, I'm with you in the sense I'm like, this is a huge crowd of douchebags. I've been taking the subway now to work. I hadn't taken the subway in 3 years, and now I take the subway every day. Now, the subway, I'm going to wear the mask for the rest of my life. But man, when
That's
you
where
see
I've seen people without masks.
Oh,
and
And
those people are idiots. Seriously, the subway is the worst because that's like just the
gross.
worst people. There's always people sneezing and coughing on the subway.
I
And that,
ride the subway all the time, and I have not gotten it because I
yeah,
wear a
me
mask.
too.
yeah, no, I'll always wear a mask on the subway. I have no problems with that whatsoever. But I got to say, as soon as I get out and I go all the way to the Statue of Liberty every day, I can't wait to take it off.
Oh yeah, me too. I hear you. And now you're in common shared space, office space. How do you do that?
Well, because of COVID, so I haven't worked in an office in 3 years as well. Because of COVID, this particular office, or maybe all of them, I don't know. This is a really, really big law firm, that's worldwide. There's a very big office and a big building, and no one's there. First of all, I'm the only guy there. All the men have been canceled.
Oh,
So I'm the only guy. I have
that sounds
lunch with
like a
these
beautiful
girls every
world.
day, women. I'm the only man in my department, and I
Uh-oh.
keep looking over to see if there's work. I'm sorry, because I am diligent when I am working. But so on Mondays, I'm the only one there. There's no one in my office. On Tuesdays, they had one other person, and on Wednesdays, there's 3 of us, and we're all sitting separately, like nobody sits next to each other, and there's coverings. So they have done kind of a protocol. Also,
Good.
DJ Eric Prince said you got to wear gloves on the subway too. He's so right, but I don't because
I
that's too much.
don't.
So as
That's
soon
too
as I get
much.
off, they have hand sanitizer right in the
Yeah, I
building.
use that hand washing your hands, by the way, is another one that is
I always wash
simple,
my hands.
but
I've
you
been
have to
doing that
tell
way before
people
COVID.
that.
Oh,
I
all
have
the
seen
time.
people, we have learned absolutely nothing. The whole
Mhm.
idea that you have to tell people to wash their hands isn't crazy,
Weird,
but
right?
I have seen people like shake someone's hand and then put their hand in their face. Once I touch any surface, I'm very aware of it. It's just my
Yeah.
habit. It's a habit that I've created, and I always have hand sanitizer so that I don't really have to wear gloves because I wash my hands.
I've
So
always washed my hands like from the beginning of time, but that's like I think you have to be born with that instinct to I always want my hands clean. Now I love buffalo wings, and buffalo wings are the worst thing to eat, with your hands. So I can't concentrate. They'll give you those wet naps and stuff, but I can't concentrate knowing I haven't washed my hands from that, like let alone anything else. I have to have my hands clean all the time. I don't know why. My mother used to say is like, "Oh, you were always so clean. You're always washing." Like people, they used to make fun of me in elementary school. Like he always wants to wash his hands. So I've always been like that all the time. I don't know why. Meanwhile, I will tell you, at my office again, it was really funny. The first day going, and you know how I got fired from my last job. The first day I went in, this woman, is training me, and it's just the 2 of us in a room. And she's like, "Do you mind if I take off my top?" And I'm like, "What? Wait, what's happening? Is this
Is
is
this a
happening
trick?
again? This is a trick, right?" She goes, "No, it's just I have a lot of tattoos, and I wasn't sure if you were okay with that or what." I'm like, "Oh yeah, no problem." But still, it was a weird way to ask. And she's been like, really, it's funny, like we've become friends, but she's like really adamant, like she is in the chat room, like, "So are we having lunch today? We're gonna have lunch, right?" I'm like, "Well, I can't make it for another half hour." Like, "I can wait a half hour." And then like we have lunch, and then she's like, and then she's telling me all this stuff, which I'm like, I don't think I'm supposed to hear any of this stuff anymore. I don't know what's happening. I'm like so nervous.
That's so funny.
And then I'm like, "Oh, she's cool." And then I'll be like, I'll fall for it again. I'm gonna fall for it every time. And then I
That's
get
the
out. I'm like, "Never go
ideal.
again."
I think men should be trained in that way.
But that's the thing,
yeah,
right? She's a trainer. She's training me, but she'll be training me in a different way. I mean, they can give those sexual harassment seminars all they want, and it's still not going to make a difference. It's not going to be real life training. You know, when they give you these things, it's a question and answer session that you have to do. And, you know, I'm saying, do you want me to tell you the answer I think or the answer you want me to put down? You know, and
Now,
it's really
No,
complicated.
I agree with that.
Yeah, I'm gonna move on. Not that that wasn't a
It's okay.
long.
I'm sorry. I wanted to
I
get
mean,
that out.
I meant to say beautiful soliloquy. Yeah. So here we go. I just want to go back to the weekend that was probably the best ever in
Oh, wait, you were in
Chicago.
Highland Park?
No, this is in Chicago.
Yeah, I know. I was thinking about you when that happened. I couldn't believe that's your hometown, right?
Let me, before we go to that, let me just kind of like start with something nice. So I
Sorry.
just want to make sure you all know who this is. This is Jamie Principle, who is amazing legend in the house music scene. He is, you know, there's a couple of house songs, probably DJ Eric Prince. You can like list them for me because I can't really, my brain is like, I smoked so much weed during the festival, I can't remember. But there's
Whoa, you
this
can't say that.
song
Okay.
that a lot of people know of that has been used in like video games, and like it's a house music. He's a house music legend, Jamie Principle. So like that's him there. That's me in Chicago at a very safe festival. There was no violence. There was no fighting. It was all music. It was all love. The
Obviously, I'm not going.
and there's me starting to dance.
Could not like that.
If you notice on the pants right here, I got chocolate on my knee. And so I used a hand sanitizer that had bleach in it. I didn't know
Oh,
that was
no.
bleach, or no one told me. They just pointed to it. I used it, and then I used it on my pants, and that's what's on my knee. But I was having so much fun. And then there's my friend Sean, and there's my friend who told me to use the hand sanitizer, who's eating in the middle. And then there's me with college reunion, University of Illinois. Alan, he's house.
Is that why you were there?
What? What do you mean?
For your college reunion?
No, I mean it's
just these two guys. Okay, gotcha. Sorry.
It's always a college reunion. This picnic. It is not intended to be that. It turns into that. So that's why everyone goes.
It does look like fun, and you're not wearing a mask, so that means you were having a good time.
I mentioned this at the top that I took some risks.
Yeah, look at you.
If you could look at my face, though, I am holding in my breath. So see like right there, you could see I'm holding in my breath. And then this is like one of the DJs. I won't play the music because then they'll block it on YouTube. But that is anyway. And then there's someone who doesn't know how to do a selfie because they're also covering my face. So yes, so that's pretty much that. The Highland Park incident is about, just so everyone knows, Highland Park is
Shut up, Marcy.
about an hour away from where we were. Maybe a little over, maybe like an hour and a half.
You did grow up there. That's your hometown, right?
Yeah, I grew up in Highland Park, Illinois until I was about 9.
That's so messed up.
It's one of those things where you're like, wow, like it's one of those places, like, you know, Ferris Bueller's Day Off, even though it wasn't actually filmed there. That's a myth. A lot of people say that.
Because they said it. They said it on the news. They said everything was filmed there. 16 Candles, Ferris Bueller's Day Off.
Well, other things like 16 Candles and stuff. But Ferris Bueller's Day Off, I believe they used some scenes. Actually, I looked into it further. It was not actually in Highland Park. It was somewhere else that they, or maybe it was the movie with Timothy Hutton with Mary Tyler Moore.
Shit.
Yes, please.
Ordinary People.
Ordinary People was also done in Highland Park because it is the most American suburb scenery. It is just hands down. It represents all suburbs across America. It's the ideal suburb. There's no, like, used to be able to walk to school. There's no violence. Everyone knows everyone. It's a mostly Jewish community. And it was very tragic.
Yeah, apparently, you know, the guy's father was running for mayor against the mayor that they had on, you know, to talk about it. And he has a picture with a certificate saying, hey, my son passed his gun license test. He was like all proud of him. The guy passed 3 background checks. And I say, if you have a face tattoo, you shouldn't get a gun. But
Yeah,
he
it was a
passed 3
failure.
background checks.
So what do you think about this, Evelyn? Because you've gone to Illinois several times with your family.
Yeah, I have a lot of family in Chicago. No family or friends like from Highland Park, but I do have family in Skokie, so close by. Yeah, I mean, it's just really, really scary. It's also, I don't know, like I have just been thinking about how like desensitized I am to like shootings at this point. Like 7 people died and 30 some were injured, and it's still in like in terms of like other like gun tragedies that have happened over the last few years, it still ranks like mid to low for me in terms of like shock. It's really sad, but also I think just so ironic that it happened on the 4th of July. It's very very American. That had happened. But yeah,
Apparently, he
it's
was obsessed with the numbers 4 and 7 or something, and that's why he did it that day. I've been
oh
reading up on this idiot. And they said they
yeah
owned a deli. Like the family was like kind of prominent, but then they went bankrupt and had all these problems. And the cops were always being called for domestic disputes. Like the whole family's a mess, which of course makes a hell of a lot of sense. Thank
yeah
goodness, because you can't live with the fact that knowing where did this come from. But the signs were all there. He painted a mural on his mother's house of a kid with a smiley face toting a gun. I'm not sure why they are. What do you do if your son is that? What What do you
right
do? It's hard to call the police on your son. But
yeah
apparently, the
that
police were called over to that house multiple times.
as a parent, I think they're like, I mean, obviously, from what I've heard of this family, some I think failures of parenting occurred, but I mean, I've just been more focused on like in terms of politics, like conservatives are so against like any sort of gun reform, any sort of laws. And I like at this point, just like how, like, wouldn't you just like be willing to try anything at this point? Like, clearly nothing we have done has worked thus far to curtail gun violence.
Sarah Silverman told me this
Mm.
crazy theory that
Does she
the
want you to share
Republicans,
it publicly before you
well,
do
she's been
this?
saying it on her podcast.
Okay, all right, good.
Like she said that the Republicans want this to happen. They don't want to do it. They don't want kids to go to school. They want them to be stupid and not vote. And then I don't know. It's an interesting theory. I'd like to think that is definitely not the case, but there's something to it. Since why would anybody send their kid to school anymore?
Yeah,
You
yeah.
know,
That no, I that makes
and it
sense.
really is like the movie Idiocracy. If you have ever seen that, if you guys have ever seen, this is a movie that Mike Judge, the creator of Beavis and Butthead, wrote. I don't know, about 7, 8 years ago, and it is goddamn brilliant, and it completely speaks to what is happening to our society today. They elect, it takes place in the future, and of course, this is before Donald Trump was president. The president is, a professional wrestler and stuff, and everybody's stupid, and they've all just not gotten educated, and they're all dumb. And it turns out Luke Wilson is like the smartest guy, even though he's the stupidest guy now. But when he gets there, he's like the smartest guy. It's an amazing satirical piece on what is completely happening right now. Idiocracy.
Yeah, it's just, but I think this is a big American problem. Like they just had a murder in, was it
Japan.
Japan or
Yeah.
Is it
And
Japan.
Japan?
they never have
And
gun
that was the
problems.
comment. They were like, we don't we think of America as shootings every day. And you hear that from someone who's not from here and you go, how they must view us,
Yeah.
what they must think when they come over here to visit.
It's
Yeah,
embarrassing.
I remember there was a teacher in high school that I had once who was like telling me about like when he's had like exchange students in his classes. And he was like, yeah, like they're not like nervous about like adjusting to like going to high school in America. They're really just like scared of being shot because so many other countries have such tighter regulations. on guns, and I've been seeing like conservatives point to the former prime minister of Japan being assassinated as like, oh well, this clearly like isn't just an us problem. Like other countries have issues with guns. Like how come if they banned guns in Japan, like this can still happen? And it's like, well, first they're very tightly regulated in Japan. They're not banned. And second, like they have like having one shooting in like the course of like however many years in Japan compared to like how many shootings do you think occur in the United States in like 1 hour? Like it just you can't compare the two. Like obviously like because guns exist, there will be shootings and there will be deaths, but with regulation you can cut down on it significantly. So yeah, it's
Yeah,
just it's sad.
yeah, it is so sad because this seems like, again, common sense. And Biden actually called the Supreme Court radicalized.
Yeah,
That was like, finally do something.
I
Uh
know.
do anything. Like,
Anything.
say something, anything, do it. Whatever you have to do.
Yeah.
And it's just again, Highland Park really does, and it's fascinating to see how many people are like, Marina, were you safe in Chicago, and don't understand the geographics of
Yeah.
Illinois. How much we don't know about other places is such an American issue.
Mhm.
It at its core of intelligence, and why we have a really problem of lack of intelligence in America
Yeah.
overall is we don't know where things are on the freaking map.
Yeah. That's true. And
Like,
it's so
we
interesting to
don't.
me. Like I saw people who would be like, "Oh, well, like of course, like it's Chicago, like gun violence." Blah, blah. I was like, "No, but this isn't the city of Chicago. Like this is a suburb. Like
Yeah, it's
this
like
isn't the
where you grew
city.
up,
This is
Evelyn, or
yeah, this
something,
is where
right? It's like
anyone."
you could say Phil the same thing. Well, it's Philadelphia, but if it happened where didn't you grow up right outside Philadelphia or something?
Yeah, I grew up not right outside, but like in central Pennsylvania. Like, but I mean, there's so many suburbs of like Philly as well. Like, I think this would happen.
Yeah.
Like, it's
Huh.
just
Like, if
ridiculous.
this happened in Vermont, we got a problem.
Yeah,
Because
exactly.
Vermont, they would have to be from outside. Because somehow Vermont is the only place, I've said it before, I'll say it again, it's the only place in the United States where they kind of all agree
Yeah,
on what is the best thing to do for society.
yeah.
I mean, but the things that the Supreme Court is also messing with, like global warming.
Oh my God, the way
Do they just want us to die? Like, what's wrong with them? What's
I
wrong
don't.
with Clarence Thomas? Get him out.
What's wrong with all of them? It's
That
just
guy
yeah.
should have been out. I mean, if that guy what he did to Anita Hill, if that happened now, he'd be out, right? I
I
mean,
mean, I don't think so. Like, I mean, like you saw. I mean, obviously, like it seems like the this like what Clarence Thomas did is like a lot. I mean, it's I think somewhat more serious than what Brett Kavanaugh did, but like Brett Kavanaugh still got on the Supreme Court.
that's a good point. Well,
So
but nothing was. Yeah, I guess you're right.
yeah, I mean, it's just yeah, the way they gut the EPA basically, it's like it won't just affect like the United States; it will affect other countries too, because we all live on this planet.
We do need term limits, but we also need to extend the court, right? So it's
Oh
fair.
yeah, expand the
Is that
court,
what they
which
call it?
like
Expand, or what is
expand or pack the
You
court.
mean
pack the court?
expand it more than was it 9 people or?
Yeah, yeah,
I
more
kind of
than
like the fact that it's. I always liked that was 9 people. I thought it was cool, but it should be half and half or something, right? Like half Democrat, half Republican. I mean, that
it.
seems
Well,
fair.
it shouldn't be. It should be nonpartisan. Like there should be
Oh,
no.
that's
Like it's
good.
very
Yeah,
clear. I mean, like
that'd be
even
better.
with like Ruth Bader Ginsburg, who I mean, I don't think
People are blaming her.
she was very like she I think is definitely been co-opted in terms of like being kind of like a symbol for more like democratic liberal people. But I think I would say that like her political beliefs didn't or religious beliefs didn't influence her judgments, but it's so obvious and so clear that it is for the conservative justices. So
That seems completely fair. Venus Boys 3. I like that.
Jenny, hey Jenny. She says, I have never even shot a gun. I have handled guns on set, unloaded, wasn't raised with guns. My dad is against the sales of arms. Yeah, it's interesting that there is that argument with people who've been raised with guns. And I'm like, can we just take a break though? I mean, like,
Well,
yeah.
what about this?
I
What
don't
about?
know.
I mean, I understand getting a handgun for protection. I
Right.
get that, and that's definitely the Second Amendment. But who the fuck needs an assault rifle?
Exactly. Yeah.
What? That's the issue. I wouldn't be against defending yourself if you feel comfortable with a gun in the house, and after you go through a bunch of background
I'm
checks. I'm
nervous
just
with
saying,
that.
let's start there. But why are you buying assault rifles? For what? How is that going to end? For a shooting range? It's not good enough.
I mean, they're
Somewhere.
killing, like they're made to
And
kill
at the
people
shooting range, they
quickly.
should just have assault rifles there to use at the shooting range, and nobody should own them. How about
At
that?
the end of the day, people are so numb and exhausted by COVID and gun violence that they've tapped out and they're just like, I just want to have a good summer.
Yeah.
And it's like, no, you can't really. I mean, this stuff is, what happened in with the children in Texas,
Uvalde.
Uvalde, is still baffling. It's still like horrific
And
and
what a
sad.
mess. And
What
it's
a
with such a
mess.
mess that like everybody's blaming, and all the things that weren't done.
Woo.
Oh, it's
Doors were
awful.
unlocked. Cops
Yeah.
decided to not go in to protect themselves.
Oh my God.
They were
Can you imagine being a
scared.
parent who's saying, come on, go in. I'll go in. And they're like not
Yeah.
letting you. Oh my God, I'd be furious. I wouldn't be able to
Yeah.
contain myself. I might kill like one of the police guys or something.
And now-
Democrats have not. We keep telling them to get their messaging right, and so far I've heard nothing from them that come up with something.
I know.
Anything.
Just do something. I mean, like Biden like just signed this executive order the other day, like about abortion, which like it says like what he like wants to do to protect abortion, but it didn't say like how he was necessarily planning on doing that, which like isn't great, but it's like at least that's something. Like executive orders are as easy as they are to sign, they're very easy to undo with the next president, but it's like, come on, just like do something about like guns with an executive order. I know they're working on something in Congress about it, but like in the meantime,
the lawyers are going to be busy.
Yeah.
I've never wanted to, like, that's the thing. It's like, I have my niece actually saying to me that she wants to go move to the UK. And I'm like, well, they got a problem though right now. I mean, we have an energy. I'm so proud of myself for the fact that I am about to say what I'm about to say.
Mhm.
We have an energy war going on.
Yeah.
In the UK, they have basically created their own problem because they've been reliant on Russia for so long. They are part of the problem of the war.
Well, I didn't know that.
They have funded this war that is in Russia. You can say you don't like it, but you've given them every reason to do it.
Yeah.
So they are in they're going to have a serious look at Juskow working. It's hilarious. Can we all watch that? Look at that. He just got something came in, and Juskow has to show that he's he's focused. Hey, everyone, have you noticed that he got a haircut? Has anyone noticed this? Look at the Juskow haircut.
Okay, yeah. I didn't notice it either.
I got it on Wednesday.
This is why he needs to be at a job. You see that? So that this is Juskow at work look. It's good for you.
Well, my work look is actually, I could send you, maybe I could show you this picture. I took it on Wednesday. I've been dressing better for work, which is odd because the women have not been, and I'm disappointed by them. But this is my work.
You want to share it with me so I can put it on the screen?
Oh, yeah. We'll send it to your email?
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, offices are more casual now.
Well, that's what I thought. And I asked them, well, what are people wearing these days? at the office, and they're like, "Oh no, you still have to dress up." You know, but the women aren't. Like they're wearing kind of shirts that it looks like they crawled out of bed. A lot of them.
That's because we were for like 2 years. I
Yeah.
have put on well, I've put on weight, which I will say
I
this,
think you
like,
look great. I haven't noticed that.
well, that's because you're only seeing me from the neck up right now,
I just
but
saw you dancing in that video, and I didn't notice that.
it's strategic how I dress so that you can't see it. But I will also say the reason I may be saying this is because I have a friend, a guy, who
Mhm.
typically loves now I know this is not, like, popular what I'm talking about, which is, like, diet culture and all that, but I gotta express it. I'm speaking my truth, okay? My truth! But I have a friend who dated and loves big women. Like, he just prefers that, and he loves plus size models, and he loves really big women. And recently, he looked at me and said, "Oh, you look good." And I was like, "No! No!" And he goes, "You look good, girl. You look thick up on that stage." And I was like,
Oh no.
"I gotta lose weight." I don't have a scale. I just have this friend who tells me
I used to
every
like that too. I mean, well, you know, I just never had a problem with. I don't like really thin women. I like, you know, I like them not maybe super plus size, but in between somewhere.
What you
I like
trying to
a,
say?
you know, a
You
nice.
want some of this? You want some of the thickness is going on right now.
I like a pretty face, good hair. I like Evelyn.
Okay.
Aww.
Good, nice eyes. You know.
I like you as a friend, Juskow.
Damn it.
Now here's Juskow in his glory.
Yeah.
Nice.
Nice. Can you see it? Did I zoom into? Look at he's wearing a suit. Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Good.
Yeah. I walked like 6 miles in that suit too that day.
Wow.
Yeah, I usually walk home, so it's 5.1 miles.
In that suit in this
Yeah.
weather?
Yeah.
Oh my
You know you
gosh.
got to get it steamed. It must
I-
be smelly now.
I just had a dry clean. I wasn't gonna wear it anymore. You know, I walk it home and then I bring it over to the dry cleaner that day. I had just got my hair cut too.
Nice.
Oh wait, I
Hold
gotta
on.
pause for someone saying I'm right. Yes, Marina, the energy war is real.
DJ, you don't know that. She could change her mind.
I am right. Thank you, Jenny. And that's his favorite bar, by the way, that he's hanging out with. So
Yeah, it is.
What
We
bar
don't-
is that?
I can't tell you.
he
And
can't
then everybody
say,
goes
but
over there.
that's his favorite
And
place.
everybody knows like they're not allowed to be there because it's near the cellar. But everybody knows like unless I'm there, then you can come in, but
Mm.
not to frequent it because that's the place I get away from people from the cellar. And also, they let me use the bathroom there, even if I don't drink, because the cellar bathroom is disgusting.
Look, they're all discussing what you do. Are you a legal aid?
Oh, and I work at a law firm.
They're
Like,
like,
what does that
exactly?
mean?
What exactly does that mean?
I'm a
Like,
securities filing specialist for hedge funds.
Oh.
you know what? People have asked me, like, Isis
That's right. I
asked me
took
what
Stace
you
to that
do,
bar. Sorry.
and I didn't know how to answer it. She was like, "What is he doing?" And I was like, "He does legal stuff."
Nobody knows. It's like Chandler on the Friends. I work on a weenus. Nobody knows what Chandler does for a living. It's like that. I mean, I'm not being secretive. I just don't know how to explain it properly. So this guy at my office said, you know, you need to come up with something to even tell girls you want to date what you do. So he goes, just tell people you're a securities filing specialist for hedge funds.
And that still does nothing for me.
No, I know. Well, I don't know how to explain it. I work with.
Well,
the
I just know
SEC.
that like hedge funds are like those are kind of like the financial type things that caused in part
Problems.
the
Yep.
2008
Oh,
financial
you're absolutely
crisis.
right. It's horrible. And I saw that coming. I didn't really know that much about it. I'm like, I kept telling my bosses, I was like, you know, the SEC is a mess. Every time I talk to them, there's just nothing but trouble there. And
You
everybody
mean now
agreed,
or in
but
2008?
2007 and 6.
Mm.
You know, I've been doing this for a long time, and I kept telling everybody the Securities and Exchange Commission is not run well. I could just tell by talking to them.
Wow.
And then they were the ones that, you know, just didn't
Drop the
catch
ball.
all the stuff. Meanwhile, one of the guys in my old firm that I was doing filings for bet on the other side. Like he saw it happening and he made a
Oh,
fortune
yeah.
during, the
Isn't that
2008.
illegal?
I don't know.
I don't think because
It
like
might not have been
he
back
was just
then.
predicting. He didn't have like
Yeah.
presumably he didn't have insider information.
And it might not have been illegal back then. It's hard to say. They've changed a lot of the rules now,
But I mean, that's part of like what caused the issue was like all these banks were selling subprime mortgages and then betting against
Right.
their own
The real
like,
estate market?
yeah.
Yeah, it's interesting because
cool
I've been
deal.
watching stocks now, and I watch the Bloomberg channel
We
like
know corn.
100% of the time. That's why. But it's like so much. It's actually my break from real news. Like real news is just about when you think about it. If no one died, there would be no news.
But are you really watching stocks if you're only watching corn?
I stopped watching corn. However, corn did do well last week. It was a commodity that we all need. But I will say that energy is where most of my focus has been lately because that's what people are going to need.
Hey, Marina, do you remember that Partridge Family episode from years ago during the energy crisis? They had an episode where they decided the Partridge Family came up with a great idea that anyone that used over their allotment of energy for a month would be put on a big billboard outside as an energy hog. You remember that term?
No.
And then it turned out that Danny read the meter wrong and they were going to be energy hogs. So they had to like cut out on all their electricity and stuff.
Oh, that's funny. I don't remember that.
I guess it made an impression on me that I remember that particular episode because
that's funny.
It was an interesting plot. But, Partridge Family, right? Stupid, but they actually had a relevant, unlike the Brady Bunch that you would never know that was made in the 60s. They never talk about Vietnam or Greg getting drafted or anything. This at least had something relevant to what, was going on in the world at the time. So I guess that's why it kind of resonated in a way.
Wow. You just made me think about my plot story. I always think about other plots to help me with my plot. Speaking of, I was at the farmer's market today while on the phone with Juskow, so I don't really have any stories because I was just on the phone the whole time. But Juskow noticed that no one cared about maybe they thought I was on the phone. Did you notice that? No one was really friendly today?
What are you talking about? What about that guy with the coffee?
Oh, the coffee guy. Tell them about the coffee guy, Juskow.
Yeah, he was he was so friendly that she said the people in the back of her were getting upset because he wanted to keep talking. But of course, the coffee guy wanted to keep talking. He's all jacked up on coffee. He
was like, "Hi,
you like it. Isn't it great? You want to try a different brand? It's going to be great."
He had a little accent too. Wasn't his accent cute?
He seemed adorable. I think that was the first guy I met when I went there because I had some coffee. I was so excited that they had coffee there.
Yeah, he's amazing.
He was the exact opposite of the guy from the fish market.
Oh, the fish market guy. And then like we're walking. So like when I walked past all the people who were standing in line, they were like, "Come on, like enough of the small talk. Let's get to it." Because they hadn't had their coffee yet,
Right.
So they were annoyed. But the flower people are back, so that's why I have this beautiful arrangement behind my head.
Pretty.
See that? Because the flower people, their flowers are inexpensive and they have the best flowers. They're organic. There's another market, vendor that has flowers, and their flowers always die. So I will not be going to them. And I almost want to tell them.
Yesterday, I was telling my friend, we were walking by this bodega that I always get. They have a really good selection of flowers, and they take care of it. And I see the guy doing it. I'm like, this is where I always get flowers for like my mom or something because it's cheaper than a florist, and they really have good. They put it together. They have a nice arrangements. And they never die, and they're a lot cheaper, so it's cool.
So Roxbury, this just so you know, the flow water, I love it too. And I went on stage with my mask, with my own microphone, and I had a bottle. I had this flow water, and I was like, "This should tell you all everything about me." I haven't said a word.
What is it?
I've got water in a box. I'm still wearing a mask, and I brought my own microphone. Strap in, everyone. Here we go.
Flow water, is it different?
It's better that it's in a box than in plastic. You don't want it like I drink water in plastic bottles, but it's not good because sometimes they say the plastic seeps into the water.
Yeah, I've heard that too. Sarah started buying glass bottles of water.
Yeah, glass is better. Actually, your own filtered water. However, I still haven't, and I don't. This is a great place to drop in the Friends Like Us, because we had Christina Greer on an episode previous to the one we have recent. That was a phenomenal episode with Christina Greer and Amanda Seales. If you haven't listened to it yet, and if you didn't know, this is why I do this live on YouTube, is to really promote my podcast, Friends Like Us. It's on Spotify. It's on Apple Podcasts. But she mentions that if you call 311 and ask them to test your water in New York City, in your building, they will.
Oh.
So you could find out if your water is actually harmful for you. It's an actual test. They will send out a kit and you could do it yourself and find out what's going on with your water.
Good to know.
You got to listen to Friends Like Us, though, to get the real information. By the way, Evelyn, let's take a break and find out, do we have any reviews? We should have.
I got some great reviews. I think mainly from our Instagram comments. This one was from a post about last week's episode with Christina Greer and Amanda Seales. Addie GM34 said, "This was a great listen. I didn't want it to end," which was very lovely. Our frequent listener of Friends Like Us and friend of the podcast, Tamara Payne, said on the same post, "Awesome episode." And then I believe on a different post, also about the episode with Amanda Seales and Christina Greer, said, "Friends Like Us podcast, you are on fire," with a bunch of hand clapping emoji and fire emojis. "Have Amanda Seales and Dr. Christina Greer on the same episode," and then like the mind blown emoji. Absolutely excellent episode. So those were all the great reviews that we got this week.
Yes. I mean, we are on fire. I agree. I mean, we back to back, we had Godfrey on. Godfrey was back after a long time of not being on the podcast, but he came back. He said, Godfrey's a huge supporter of Marina Franklin. Speaking of Trump, he is the best. He does an impersonation of Trump, which we talked about on that episode. It's like, how do you impersonate someone you don't like, and what reactions do you get from the audience when you're in the South? Like, do they think you're Republican? Like, like me personally, whenever I see an impersonation of, I get nauseous whenever I hear about him. He makes me nauseous. He makes me sick. I see some of the, you guys are giving him, I give him credit for nothing. I'm sorry. I can't do it. I don't give him anything, because I don't even think it was him that deserves the credit. It's probably someone who gave him the advice, and he just likes to receive the credit for things. But I can't give him anything. Probably the person behind him did that. But after seeing what he did on January, what was it, 6th?
What was it, 6th? You're so right about that. Was a disaster.
See what he did on January 10th?
I don't know whether you remember, but I mean, I didn't vote for him, and I didn't want him in office. I mean, maybe I did it first because I thought it would be hilarious. But when everybody was like, we got to impeach him, I'm like, no, that's not the way it works. Just let him do his job, or let him run it out and find some. You got 4 years to find somebody to beat him the right way, right? So, of course, we settled on Biden. They couldn't, they should have scoured the planet for somebody else, but that's all right. And then, I really gave him every chance. And then the January 6th thing, I was like, wow, look what I was trying to stick up for him. And it's like, well, let it play out the legal way. And then for him not to relinquish the reins and understand the election and do all that stuff. Oh boy, that made me so angry.
When they talk about us when we're not here anymore, they're going to be like, what were they thinking? They're going to be like, history repeats itself, and they repeated themselves.
Wait, who are you talking about? Like,
I'm talking about the future of future children in school, future, if we're still here as a world, they will be going, what? Like, that's crazy. They let people walk around with guns. Wait, the president of the United States.
Well, you also
said that. Let me finish. The president of the United States said that he wanted people to come in with guns because they weren't going to hurt him, and they still like the guy.
It's really
Yeah.
messed up, and that's half the country too. But
Yeah.
I feel like maybe I mean, obviously we're in the moment, but I feel like, if you look at history and especially even the presidents, there was so many weirdos that there wasn't social media and there wasn't, just documentation, that I think there was a couple of other presidents that tried to pull this kind of stuff, but they, again, we just didn't have the documentation for it.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
trying to think of, there's one in particular that tried to do this exact same thing. I don't think it was Andrew Jackson, but it might have been.
I mean, he was a bad president, so
Right.
probably.
So there's always been bad presidents, and like, years from now, I mean, hopefully he won't win again. That would be bad, but yeah, I mean, I think people will just see that history does repeat itself in its sense of we elect a clunker sometimes, and that's just the
Yeah.
way it works.
Ginny, yeah, you've got to listen to friends like us. That's the whole reason I do this every Saturday,
Jenny,
to
it's really not that
promote
necessary.
the podcast. This week, actually, I promoted our Patreon page.
Yeah.
A Patreon page, which is a way for listeners to donate money, support us, keep us going.
Jenny
It's
donates to
not
my
easy.
Patreon page, which is really nice.
Ginny, have you donated to friends like us? Not any pressure, but it's
Don't take
always
away from mine.
nice. It's always nice if
I
you
don't know how
do,
much money she
because
has.
I have these great new interns, or I mean assistants, and they are, Evelyn. They're really good. I
I've
mean,
noticed
no one can like really do what you do, but they're really, really like good.
I've noticed I've loved the new graphics that they've been making for social media. They look so clean and so good. No, I've definitely noticed they've been doing a good
Her name
job.
is Celine. She's
Oh.
from Turkey.
Oh,
She
wow.
just she lives in Florida, but she just moved to New York for 2 months, and she's fantastic. And she was the first real, no slide to you, because you're my number one,
Mhm.
but she was the first one to say this to me. Do you mind if I do something different? And I go, what?
That's awesome.
Are you? Yeah, please do it. Create.
Yeah.
That's all I want, is for you guys to create and do something different. And she puts those video clips up, and she realized afterwards a lot of work, and she was like, I can't believe I agreed to this. I offer. But she does a great job. Like you said, it's clean, and these clips come out, and it was just
Okay.
her whole invention. And I said, just go with it and do what you want.
That's awesome.
But it costs money. They cost money. Like Evelyn costs money. I love Evelyn, but she costs. So when you go on Patreon, this is what you're doing. You're helping the podcast in so many ways, so that's why I always do the YouTube to promote us too. So, hey, and you get a free t-shirt if you become a real friend. The one that Evelyn is wearing, so
Yeah, it's great.
good. She's such a
I've
good
never
person.
gotten
I was
one.
supposed to be wearing mine. Oh my God. You never got one?
No.
I'll get you a
No,
hoodie.
But you put me in touch with somebody who throws scones at me, so.
Well, she's having a tough time,
Why she got to take it out on me?
She took it out on a lot of people, and she's just, we love her, and we hope that she's okay. Look at this. Juskow is noticeably quiet. Who said that?
Heck
I shouldn't even. Heck tech. Yeah, that's because he's working at the same time.
No, I'm trying to be quiet sometimes. I thought you like that. I think when you talk about the podcast, I try and not be normal.
Look, everyone knows it though. No, everyone knows the real reason. It's because you're multitasking.
I'm not doing anything. I was trying to be really quiet.
No, we know what it really is. We know you've got a real job going on.
I know, but there's nothing happening. I was just sitting here listening to you because you were plugging the podcast, and I don't want to get in the way of that. You've told me not to say anything anymore.
No, we know you don't listen to me.
Yes, of course I do.
We talked about Roe versus Wade, Phil. You weren't here. We talked about it. We are over it.
What happened with Roe versus Wade?
Oh, what happened? I don't know. Well, they got to work on some. What happened to?
Well, what about just Wade?
Oh, just Senator Kirsten Sinema from Arizona. She's just terrible.
Yeah, she's just. People be lying when they get in. They do whatever they can to get in.
That's that. Is that bisexual woman?
Yes, she's the first bisexual senator.
Right.
Mike is right.
Openly,
When
yes.
Juskow is not paying attention, best to lob some scones. Now we don't advocate violence, okay?
Mike,
But
I was paying attention. I was. I mean, you'll know when I'm not because I will be faced this way and doing stuff. But I was completely paying attention.
I am so hungry right now. Talking about being a chubby girl this summer, I am so I took vitamins, so I'm like my body's going, "What the
I
frig?"
ate an entire shepherd's pie, like a large shepherd's pie yesterday. It was delicious. I keep going. I went to this place called Molly's that I hang out sometimes. This big Irish bar on Third Avenue, and I love them there. And I told them all I was going to Dublin, and I thought maybe I'd get a free meal. Oh, that's wonderful. You're going. Meanwhile, I said they're like, how many days you going for? And I'm like 5, and they're like 5. You only need 2. So, I don't know what that means. 2
Interesting.
is enough drinking for anyone there. I'm like, what?
Well, you'll get to know the city better.
I guess maybe there's no
Boris
fee.
Johnson,
Oh,
seeing him
man.
get the boot. I'm not that informed about. Sorry to move on the British politics,
Yeah.
but
No, I
and
don't
I
understand
still
what's
don't.
going on either.
I still Brexit. They can explain it to me to the end of Earth, and I still really don't get it. But Boris Johnson is the most ridiculous man to ever be
I
a prime.
know.
Like his hair, and I don't know, watching other people's politics, even when I was in Australia, right? And I
Yeah.
watched their prime minister. It's amusing when it doesn't really affect your life. You're just watching these little people running around and get like people when it's not your politics, when they look angry, it's kind of funny. Because
I
it does
know.
it okay, let me get this right. At the end of the day, it does affect because whatever happens there can happen here. But still, I have to be honest, when I was in Australia and I watched them like getting upset and the guy trying to run out of the chamber, and
Isn't that exciting?
sometimes they wear wigs, like those parliamentary
Yeah,
wigs
yeah.
really turn me on, but Boris Johnson, like him trying to defend himself this week when they're like, no,
It's so
It's so
exciting
funny.
watching them all argue and get angry. It's almost. I mean, it feels like it's a good thing in a way.
Yeah. I just think it's so funny in his resignation speech. He said, "Them's the breaks," when he was
Yes.
resigning.
Yeah,
I still don't understand what he did. Like I'm like you. I'm like I don't understand what happened here. I don't know.
He well, during COVID, he was having like parties, and he was
So?
he was lied about it. Well,
Well, the country was on lockdown, and he was.
I know, but that's it.
no,
I mean,
that wasn't it. That's why they found more stuff, and he had some sexual allegations.
oh, I see. Okay.
Yeah.
He did a U. He
Well,
did a
how did he have
Juskow.
sexual allegations? I mean, he just got married.
Well,
That has
let's see.
never
Did you
stopped
just say
a
he did a
man.
you?
He did a Juskow,
You
yeah.
son of a
People-
bitch.
So, and there were some
was set
other
up.
things that they found that he lied about. So it was just piling on, and then he had all of his employees just go, if you're not going to leave, we'll leave for you.
Yeah, he had like 50 plus resignations in his government before he resigned.
That's upsetting.
Yeah, right, Venus. She says a whole bunch of stuff that was piling up.
I guess
So, and then he just looks the way he looks,
It is
I
weird.
know, he looks crazy.
and
I
he
think
said
they
it was
even
the best
said-
job he ever had. I'm like, yeah, because you thought you could do whatever. I mean, that's the problem with power. I'll be honest. I have
Yeah.
a problem with power. Whenever I
That's right, Jen.
get a little extra money for something, or if I think I'm gonna have to, be in something like really good and I can share it, I do act a little different. I do. Like I realized when I was walking through the airport and I get the lounge. You ever been in the lounge, Evelyn?
I have
In an
not.
airport?
My girlfriend has though. She's like a Delta, whatever Sky, whatever like that.
Phil.
Yeah.
How did she get that?
It's because her dad like flies all the
Oh.
time for business, so like she's like a part of his plans. so
Isn't
she
it
gets the
nice? It's
perks.
nice, isn't it?
Yeah, she says it's very nice.
I was in the lounge one time and they were making guacamole fresh.
Oh.
Even though that's not
God.
COVID safe, I still was into it. And I was sitting right next to the little guacamole bar, and I saw all these like corporate type guys coming up, and it really is like heaven when you can separate yourself from the rest of
I
the
know.
world and do something like have guacamole made fresh for you. Now you could go to a restaurant in the airport, sure, but it's not the same
It's not the
because you see
same.
all these like crazy people coming in, and these are the people that like don't wear mask. Well, in the lounge they don't wear masks too, but it's just I'm an elitist. I do like my first class. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
Look what DJ
I
Eric
need
Prince
it.
just said.
That he got a haircut in the Virgin.
Oh
Wow,
wow,
that's cool.
What?
that's crazy.
I never
A
heard of that before.
haircut. So as much as I argue for things, being like equal,
Except in the
don't.
airport.
Oh,
In
see,
the
Penny
airport,
sounds
we gotta
perfect for me.
separate. Gotta
Yeah.
get away from the. Yes, yes. Now we do have to get out soon so I can eat. That's the only reason. Oh, who's
No, I'm
making
hungry.
guacamole? Marcy, you're making guacamole. I'm so hungry.
That sounds awesome. Marina, have you ever been to Rosa Mexicana where they make it at the table?
No.
Oh,
Where's
there
that?
used to be one across the street from me. They moved it. There's about 4 of them, and that is the best guacamole I've ever had. They make it at the table. It's table-side guacamole, and it's as good as advertised. I just had it 3 weeks ago with my sister, and it was still good. It's really tasty.
Where is it now?
All over the city. Not
What's it
in
called?
your neighborhood, but no, Rosa Mexicana.
Rosa Mexicana. Yeah, I would
Yeah,
like
there's
to
one
go.
now on 53rd and 2nd. I think there's one on like 6th Ave. There's one in Lincoln Center.
Of course, I gotta wait for these numbers to go down.
But the
before I
rest of
eat
their
something.
food is not very good. But
Oh,
yeah, it's not. It's too high scale. Mexican food shouldn't be expensive because it's
I
rice and
make
beans.
guacamole pretty good. I'm not gonna lie. I
Oh,
make
well,
a
I'm going to
pretty
take
good
you for
guac.
this, and then you'll see if you think it's
But that's
worthy.
not what Shauna said on this recent episode. If you're listening to the recent episode of Friends Like Us, she trashes my guacamole. She said it was a week old and it was brown, and I tried to serve it to them. But that's before I knew that guacamole. I didn't know guacamole could go bad so fast. And yet you couldn't eat it. I thought, some vegetables, some people tell you, even though it's a little brown, you can still get some nutrients from it. But maybe I'm wrong.
Yeah, I think you can.
My mom came up with a great pitch idea for a show. You want to hear it?
Yeah.
People who learned to cook during the pandemic.
That's it?
her. Yeah, that was her idea. She texted that to
Your
me in
mom
a
is-
hurry. She was like, to pitch this great new idea. It's so original. I hope my mom's watched. She's probably watching this now. She's gonna. I'm too grown. You can't give me a spoon. Lemon juice on. Oh yeah,
Ooh.
lemon juice. Ooh.
It's good.
Oh God,
wait,
we
what
got to
did,
get out of
Marcy
here
just
so I
said?
can
Red
eat.
onions, lime juice, cilantro, avocados, and salt.
Oh,
Oh, now
guess
I'm
who's
getting
gonna
hungry
be
too.
ordering Mexican food after we get off of here?
Sounds
All right,
good.
guys. Listen, this was fun.
It's fun.
I'm getting so hungry. And as you can see, Juskow just got an assignment.
No. I'm signing off, and everybody's so polite. We all say it's. I told you it's all women, so we all say, "Oh, good morning, everybody. Good afternoon, everybody. How was your weekend?" It's really nice. It's a lovely place to work if you have to work somewhere because you messed up.
It is nice to be around like lovely people. I will
It's
say
unbelievable. I'll show you
I've
some of these things.
I've had a couple of complaints. As you guys know, that's what I do. But when I flew back from Chicago, and I was trying to get to my lounge, I asked this one sister. She was a sister, which is black woman like me. I asked her if this is the bigger lounge or should I go to another direction, and she was like, "The lounge is over there." I said, "But that wasn't my question. My question was," and this is what pissed her off was me saying it just that way. I go, "Is this the bigger lounge or is this?" She said, "I said I don't know the answer." She got defensive about what she didn't know. I realized sometimes people can't do their job because they don't know how.
Yeah.
And she was just like, "I said I don't know." So I was like, "Listen, okay." So I don't know why I just did a Latino listen, but then I walked back by her. I go, "Thanks." This is how I get angry because I don't want to fight. I go, "Thanks for being friendly." That's as good as I get with,
I think
And
that
then-
does like get under people's skin.
what?
Well, just like when they're like rude to you, then you like are kind of like nice and genial back.
Thanks for being friendly.
Yeah.
And then I had one of the women at American Airlines tell me that my bag didn't fit in the overhead. And I go, my bag always fits in the overhead. And she was at the front desk going, please just put your bag in the fitter, the size fitter. And I go, my bag always fits in the overhead. She goes, please just put your bag in the size. I said, my bag. We kept going back and forth for a while. And then a young man, he was gay, young man, beautiful. He goes, you know what? If I could just help you. And I go, you know what? Thank you. Only you.
Yeah.
And then I tweeted out at American Airlines and I let them know. And then they were like, please DM us. And I go, I will keep tweeting you until you get that bitch because I did not like her attitude. Okay. That's who I am. I will get you. All right, you guys. Let's see what are you all saying? You're just like, oh, we're talking about food. Yes, I gotta go because I gotta eat. You guys, this was lovely. We'll be back next week. I will let you know. Yeah, we'll be back next week. We won't. No one's going anywhere. We're all gonna be here for you. Same time. Hey, also share this with other friends that you know, and let them know about the Friends Like Us podcast. Evelyn, let them know where will you be and what are you up to?
So,
Or where can they find you?
So you can find me on Twitter at Evelyn G. Frick. I was planning to do a few shows and then this surge is happening. So I'm not doing any shows right now, but you can keep updated on any shows that I will possibly do if the surge stops happening on Twitter.
Yeah. Oh, they call me a black heron.
They always do.
You better watch your mouth.
That should be the name of your next special, you realize.
What, black heron?
Yeah.
No. Well, someone did it as a
Why not?
short.
Oh.
Because someone did it as a short somewhere, and because they probably heard me do it somewhere. Also, Juskow. Well, wait. Oh, yay, Evelyn! I didn't get it in time. Sorry.
No, it's okay.
Juskow, where will you be, and what are you going to be working at your desk like this?
Pretty much. I'm going to Ireland tomorrow, and that's. Oh, you don't care about that, right? I'm going to see. I'm finally going to see Billy Joel at MSG next Wednesday. But otherwise, I don't have any shows coming up or anything. How was that? That was a. No,
Well,
it's just I have this show. Alon's taking over my Tuesday show this Tuesday, and then I'll be back on the Comedy Cellar Nightly show the Tuesday after that. But that's it.
wait, say that again. Elon is doing what?
He's taking over the hosting duties of the Comedy Cellar Nightly show that I do on Tuesday nights while I'm away. Oh.
That's so much fun. And next week, Evelyn will be able to do this too, and she can kick you out if you say anything bad.
Yes.
Wait, what are you saying?
There's a new option on this site where Evelyn can kick you out if you don't like what you're saying.
That's not good.
Yeah, I know. So you watch yourself.
All right, but I'll be back next week. So
yeah, you'll be back. We'll all be back.
Also,
on July 19th, I'll be doing an hour at the Fat Black Pussycat. And so come and check me out there. You can DM me or you can go on my WordPress on my website, marinayfranklin.com, if you want some free tickets. You are here now. So if you email me at marinalivecomedy@gmail.com, that's marinalivecomedy@gmail.com, you will be able to get free tickets. You just have to go on there right now. If you're in the New York City area, that is July 19th at 7 p.m. I have not even dealt with that show yet. That's why you have to see flyers, because I've been partying and dancing and shaking my butt and trying to drop off this weight that my friend who likes plus size women like. And that's it. And tonight I'm going to be at the Cellar for 3 shows. And just stay in touch with all of us. But most important, listen to the podcast, Friends Like Us, and wash those dirty little hands. Wear a mask still if you want to. Please get boosted and vaccinated. And you know what I'm going to say? Black lives matter. You watch your mouth, Juskow. Don't you say anything.
I never say anything after that.
You better not. Thank you all. Bye.
Good night, everybody.